Let's listen to it on the verse. That might sound better.
Nothing till I say it right. Put it on the braids. Nothing till I say it right. Put it on the braids. Now pick it.
That's a good question, man. That's a really good question. How to earn money as a producer. So I would say that there's money to be made if you know like how to best utilize the skills that you have. Let's chat for a minute actually. Why not? So I've been producing for like a really long time, but I haven't been making like I haven't been living off being a producer until like reasonably recently. So for me, COVID was the thing that kind of pushed me into wanting to really, really like be full time as a producer. Before then, my main thing is a combination of like gigging and like private teaching. But I lost loads of private teaching over the pandemic. But I kind of like didn't like a lot of the teaching I was doing at the time. So what I did when I came out of that, so first of all, um, I was already working with some people, so I had like a bit of experience of working with artists. But what I did, I reached out to people on social media. That's literally all I did for ages. In fact, saying that, I don't think I've ever actually done any other kind of promotion other than social media. So I've got my main band, which is called Yakul, and that has definitely helped um, in terms of like me getting production work, because we've got a certain level of audience, which has meant that like it's been easier to been easier to kind of like for people to know my level, if that makes sense. So if you think of like how the way to work with somebody is either that like if they're aware of you, like if you think about the marketing steps, if we're going like all businessy, someone being aware of you is the first step. Like if someone doesn't know who you are, then it doesn't matter how good you are. Like you could be the best person in your whole field at a skill, but if no one knows who you are, you're not going to get any work. So step one is finding ways of making people aware of you. So for me, having the band definitely helped, because some people might have already have heard of us, and I'd also been kind of pushing stuff on social media a bit, so maybe they'd also heard of me. Like one thing I definitely did was reach out to people that already followed me that were artists. That was a really good way of like finding work to start off with. Yeah. Social media can really do that. So like Instagram was the place that I did that on for ages. So yeah, I would just like I'd find people that followed me and reach out to them, because that was already like much easier, because it's like, okay, this person already knows who I am. So I don't need to sell myself in the same way. I don't need to prove my quality, because they already follow me. So they must already think of me on at least some level. Um which is the first step. No, I haven't. What is that? Enlighten me. But yeah, so awareness is the first step, and then trust, I would say, is the second step. So someone might be aware of you, but they might not have enough information about you to trust what you're saying. So the next thing is like, how do you get someone to trust you? So some of the things that I've done, I do a lot of video content, which definitely helps. So, I mean, I would say like doing Twitch streaming, that's a way of gaining trust. So like someone might know who I am, but then if they watch me make music for an hour or two or whatever, they're like, oh, okay, cool. Like now I've seen that process, I feel more comfortable with reaching out about like working together or whatever. Like it definitely breaks down some barriers. Like when somebody has a window into your process or whatever it might be. So you have to put yourself out there basically. And even if you're an introverted person, you need to find a way of being able to express yourself and who you are and what you're about and what your music's about. Because the thing is, what it comes down to, that this is going to sound like a negative thing, but it's actually a positive thing. There's so many fucking people making music that it can feel very hard to break out of just the sea of other musicians and producers. But the good thing is, a very large amount of them aren't willing to do what it actually takes to be successful. And where the secret lies to that isn't where people think it is. I mean, yes, being incredible at making music definitely helps. But I can guarantee that there's a very large amount of very like talented and incredible producers and musicians that have no audience because they don't know how to market themselves and they're not willing to learn. Like, it's something that a lot of musicians have an aversion to, myself included. It's taken me a long time to feel more comfortable with doing that. But like, at the end of the day, you need to think of yourself like any other business owner thinks of themselves. If you're self-employed, you're trying to make a living off music, you need to think of yourself like a business, because that is what you are. And the sooner you can do that, and the sooner you can learn how to correctly market yourself and actually put time into it, the sooner you'll build an audience, you'll build a client list, whatever, and you'll build up your income from music. Like, that is the ultimate way of doing it. But no one really wants to put in the time for that. So like, I don't know, let's say you put in like 20 hours a week producing or something like that. Let's just say that. You could take 5 hours of that, 5 hours a week, 1 hour Monday to Friday, and put that into researching what is unique about you. Like, look at other people, try and write loads of stuff down, make a business plan. Like, what are the things that you do that are different to everybody else? Why should people come to you instead of somebody else? Like, those are important questions. And if you don't have an answer for that, then why should anybody else? Like, you need to figure that shit out. Like, what makes you different? And then you can approach everything you do in that way. So like, I like doing video content. I'm quite into like the educating side. Just kind of I like trying to help other people with their career and try and like get people to the next step, whatever that might be. Because I know that like it can be really, really hard, and like there's so many more steps that I have on it as well. But like, even to get where I am now, it's like been really like hard, and it's taken a lot of years. So I really want to kind of share as much knowledge as I can with people. So that's the thing, that's part of like who I am. So that kind of comes out in the way that I portray myself on social media. So figure out what that is for you. Like a couple of years ago, I spent like the first month of the year just like writing like a whole like bunch of stuff in a notebook on just like, what am I about? Like, what are my values? What am I trying to say? And then I put it into practice as much as I could. And it's an ongoing process. You can keep learning and keep adding to it, but you need to be really clear on what you are trying to do and what you're about. I would say that's probably the best bit of advice that I would say. Man, that kind of went on for a bit. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. But yeah, definitely recommend putting yourself out there. Like, dare to be great, you know? Yeah. Cool, I'm glad. Alright, I've totally forgotten where we're at. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't say you nothing till I say it right. Put it on.